Okay, we are live. Hi, everybody. Let's do the countdown.
I live in debt, I'll die indebted to your hold. Born again, I swear I wouldn't breathe a word. If you can find me, take me back and make me whole. We're a circus, ruin my body with your corpse. So can you help me out?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Craft the Mask. I'm sorry I'm not on camera because I'm trying to look for some tape. Anyways, we are back to another session. Mel is in her normal place of residence.
Normal setting, yeah.
We did get to see each other last week, which was a nice little change instead of seeing each other on
Yes.
camera. I felt bad because Grudy was so cute because she sat next to Mel and she was just staring at her like she's the most beautiful, angelic thing she has ever seen in months.
Sweet.
I know. I was just like, you do not look at me that way, by the way. It's just, I was low-key getting a little jealous there. Like, she was just just staring at her I love your hair. I love your dress. I love your hair. I like your hat. I like your phone. And I was just like, shut up.
How was her gymnastic? I'm sorry I missed it. She got mad.
It was really good. She got really upset because she saw you get in the other car and her eyes got really big and she was just like, but you said she go gymnastic with me. And I was like, well, maybe she'll be there. And then we get there and then she was just like, where is she? And she was running around looking for you. And I was just
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My heart.
I know. And she was really
had
bummed out.
She had on the most cutest gymnastic onesie ever. It was like psychedelic, all
it was
awesome colors.
Trippy cats.
Yeah,
it was trippy cats.
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah,
she was dressed for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay.
It was so good. It was so good to see you, and then to see how big Grudy has gotten since the last time I saw her. Oh my gosh,
she's a big girl now.
Yeah,
full of personality. Yeah, unfortunately, whatever happened whatever adventure she went on last weekend, she must have caught a cold because she's sick today. So she's home from preschool.
Oh no.
Yeah, but it's okay. It usually when she gets sick, it's like a moment for her to slow down because she doesn't slow down.
Oh, yeah.
She's just like you, always on the go and doing things and stuff. And
I would be careful, especially with the Delta variant out there currently.
Yeah.
As far as I know, I think that they're trying to push for the vaccinations for under 12 by late August, early September. So yeah, definitely as soon as that happens, get her vaccinated. I'm trying to be even extra careful only because we still have one person that's not he's under 12, he's not vaccinated. So I definitely don't want to bring that back and everything. So yeah, mask all the time.
Yeah,
so even at work my office had us going back twice a week, but even then people walking around with not with mask on, and I'm just not as comfortable with that
I don't go anywhere, and I think last week, I never go anywhere. And then last week when Mel was like, "Hey, let's hang out when I'm in town," I was like, "Yeah, for sure." So I was grabbing things, getting ready to go. And the moment I got out of the car and I saw you, I was just like, "Oh crap, I forgot my mask." But it was just
no
halfway to the place anyways. I was just like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go in because by the time you get into the place to eat, you have to take it off anyway. So I'm like,
and plus when we went, no one was inside, and Texas does have the mask mandate up, but you can never be extra careful. I know with my sister, she was just you can't eat or drink on the on the plane at the airport. I thought she meant because I was hungry by the time I got to the airport, and I was like, "Oh, yay! I'm gonna sit down, get some meal, you know." And then I saw her text, and then I was like,
Oh,
"Oh no." Okay, so I
oh
didn't
dear.
eat. I was there for like a good more than an hour ahead, and I didn't eat on in the airport, and I didn't even eat on the plane. Like I kept my mask on the whole time, and by the time I
Oh
landed, I was like,
my
"You
gosh.
better have food because I am starving." And she was just like, so when I got there, she was like, "No, I meant not to eat on the plane, not at the airport." I was like, "Oh my God."
You know
But
what I
yeah,
was
and
just
I when
thinking
I got
about?
what?
Business idea. We should make a mask that has like a little pouch where you put snacks in there and just
Oh my gosh. Well, you know they have those masks where you can put like a flap, so it's like it opens up to put for a straw.
yeah, but you're still oh gosh.
I
Yeah.
know. There's more. There's like, obviously that's probably not the case. It's fine. I was able to suffer through it for like 4 or 5 hours.
Still
Additional.
oh.
Literally did not eat until I landed. And then when I got there to her place, she was like, "You need a shower. You need to do all this." I was like, "Okay, it's
Yeah,
fine." There
well,
was a new baby. There was a
yeah,
new
she has a new
baby, so we're
baby.
taking the extra precaution.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
when I saw her baby, I was just like, I don't want maybe like I don't I was just like, oh the also baby was like super tiny. All brand new
Yeah, one
just
month
came
old.
out of like yeah, just brand new just came out of the factory
With
and
a lot a head of hair, a freaking like
yeah,
full set of like thick hair. Yeah.
yeah. And I
He
was just
actually
like, oh
grew, he actually was born with baby teeth too. Did you know that that exists?
yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, she didn't know. She didn't know.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard about it. I'm just like, dude, those are like little vampire babies. I was just thinking,
Yeah, like,
that's
but
like, but so
the
cute.
nurse didn't even give her the yeah, well, the nurse didn't give her the option to take the baby teeth home. She did was just like pluck them
Oh,
out of his gums, and I just threw it out, but didn't even ask whether or not, my sister wanted to
wait,
keep it. I thought that was kind of
yeah,
a little bit
yeah.
rude there.
Oh, that's weird
Yeah.
that they
So
just
no, it
pluck
was a
them
good
out.
trip
Oh,
overall.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad. Well, I'm glad I got to see you for a little bit, even though it was like a short little
I
bit there.
know. I
But at least we got
know.
to see each other. It's been like even before COVID, though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's been a while. Like last
yeah,
time I
so
saw Grudy, she was still a baby. She didn't talk much. Yeah, I don't think
no,
she talked.
she was like 8 or 9 months, I think, when you saw her. She was like a little
Yeah.
nugget. Yeah, yeah, she was
Yeah,
itsy bitsy.
no.
And now she's a full on human.
I
Um,
know.
so
Crazy. Time
it's
flies, man.
I know. Which like makes me sad because it's just like, oh, I wish I would have like enjoyed more of it because I'm not having
Yeah.
number two, but you know what?
Yeah.
One door closes, another one opens. It means I get to like I don't know, work in a nurse like a nursery or something maybe, or like
Yeah.
an infertility clinic. That's something that I'm kind of shooting for. Um,
Oh, good.
yeah, because it's still lab based stuff. I could sit in the back and just inject sperm into embryos all day long.
I mean, I think that's fascinating, and especially
Yeah.
like I've seen a few on TikTok where there was this infertility doctor, and she was just like showing like samples, like sperm
Mm.
samples of like one that's like really active motility, while there's another one that's like doo 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 doo, like aging
Yeah.
away. Probably not the
It's
best
like,
sample.
I mean, look at that tail. Look at that flagella. Ooh, it's long. You
Yeah,
can
so
swim. Yeah.
even though guys can literally have kids up until they're like, I don't know, 80s, 90s, doesn't mean that their sperm samples are all that great either. So it's
No.
not the best of not compared to like a young person where like the sperm is swimming wildly.
I mean, when they say like the whole like that guy swimmers are getting kind of slow. It's true. They're slow swimmers. They get shorter tails. They're not as
Totally. Yeah.
But yeah, I think we kind of
Yeah.
sidetracked. What are you working on today? Your
I'm
your
still
top
working on
still?
my top. Yes, I know it's probably gonna be like this for, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm on my fourth, which means I still have like a row and a half.
You're almost
But
done.
I'm almost done. I honestly haven't really touched it since like the last 2 streams ago. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
you know,
summer is just making me more active, just going out more, you know?
yeah, that's okay. I say live your craft when you can, and then go out and do stuff when you can. Like, why
Yeah.
subject yourself to hermitry?
No,
You
I
know?
know. I know.
Yeah. So, um,
Yeah.
okay. Basically, full disclaimers here. These are our opinions or thoughts on what we see on pop culture, news, and stuff like that. Just want to share our opinions. So that's our first disclaimer. And now take
Yes,
our
and
disclaimer two.
we definitely do not condone any type of harassment on this channel. So, this is stories that we wanted to just chat and see what are some of your thoughts and our thoughts on it. And so, yes, if you have questions and whatnot, just feel free to comment below and we'll get to it. And then we'll just, discuss. But yeah, please don't send hate to anyone. Just spread kindness, please. We're all about that on this channel.
Yes, and since last week we did kind of like a rapid fire thing, I think Mel and I were just kind
Yeah.
of like saying how we liked it a lot more, just because we could get through more stories, and it doesn't mean and it allows like us to not have to drag on something for a whole hour and not have much to say. So we're
Yeah.
gonna do that again this week. And I think originally when we did this, we were thinking about doing 3 to 4 stories. I don't know why it ended up being like one story an episode.
One to two
Yeah.
stories. We can never get to like the second one. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
because so and then it got really dark there, and I was just like, oh, this is the stuff like that's just hurting my heart, and it's hard to like visit every week, you know. So first
Yeah.
story, an update about the Victoria's Secret Karen. And I will have to concede on this fact. So I think last week when we were talking about it, I was just like, yeah, but I want to know both sides of the story. And I think when I saw the video, the first thing I did was I saw a not mentally ill, but someone who has like emotional issues. And like for me, I immediately kind of empathize with her because I have certain issues. But then I realized something because I was watching another guy's podcast, and he wasn't talking about this particular thing, but he was talking about Trisha Paytas, and he was saying that the most ableist thing you can do is see someone have a mental illness and be like, oh, she has a mental illness, therefore she's acting that way. You should see them as a person first and then understand why they're acting that way. And I think my first like initial reaction was just like, oh, she's having an anxiety attack, let's give her a break, which is wrong with me because I was being totally ableist there. So now I watched it again, and then I like kind of sourced other people who have like a different opinion about it too. And yeah, that lady was totally like, okay. So the update is that there isn't charges against her, which I think is unfortunate because had the reverse happened, the lady who was filming, the black lady, would have gotten the charge.
Yep.
And I do not think that's fair. That is a prime example of systemic racism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, however, I do think she can possibly, the lady who's filming, could maybe go for like a civil case. But that means she would have to front her own money to do that kind of stuff. So if she does start like a GoFundMe or something to get that rolling, I think that would be a good example of how this kind of stuff happens all the time. This also reminds me of another case last year where another woman, Amy Cooper, was walking in the park and she saw a black man who, so cute, Christian Cooper, sat there and literally his hobby is to bird watch.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you have to be the most gentle and sweetest person on earth to have a hobby such as bird watching, like dead serious, right? And he was just sitting there bird watching, and like I think, her dog was being really loud, and he basically said, "Hey, can you calm your dog down because I'm trying to bird watch, and this specific type of bird that he's been watching is very like jittery, and so it like kept flying away, and he really wanted to see this bird, right? Which I think that's fair.
Yeah.
And she basically whipped out she didn't whip out her camera, but she started saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna say that you're attacking me. You're being loud and rude." And he's just like, "Hey, lady, like, no, this is not." So he pulled out his
gosh.
Yeah, and I mean, good thing that she like lost her job. It was all over the media, but he did make a statement, and like he's in his 50s and he's a very smart guy. He like came out and he's just like, look, this situation sucked. It wasn't he's just like, this situation sucked. I felt dehumanized based on my skin color. But he's also, you know, people are saying like, you know, you should do a civil case against her and all this other stuff. And he's just like, I can. But I think another good thing that did come out of this is that there is now a conversation about how this stuff does happen. So then the Victoria's Secret thing, and you know what, the one bit where people were asking the lady who was filming to leave, it was just like, why couldn't they ask the white lady to leave? Because she was the one that was like throwing a full-on tantrum. And
and the fact of the matter is that she was doing that because she was like, she's filming, so like, you know, I don't want to lose my job and that. And she's doing, I was like, granted, that's what you're like, that's your concern, then you would stop what you're doing and walk out the store. Like, that's not what she did. She continued on for like, I don't know, 30, 40 to an hour. I don't know how long it was. So it's like, okay, your extended behavior doesn't.
It's ridiculous. No. The root reason for that behavior was, I don't want to be filmed. So the two options is to walk away or do what she did. She chose to do what she did, meant that she chose that action. And so I was listening to this other psychologist talk about like her breaking down, and he was saying that like he didn't use the word like manipulating or anything like that, but he did say that she was using a type of screeching or screaming that sounds very similar to a toddler. And what happened is that when you use that kind of tone, the adults around you will always side with the screamer or the screecher, because we are inherently wired to hear little toddlers scream and empathize with them. Isn't that like a weird?
No, it's mother instinct, but for a grown-ass woman, you should not even be thinking about like going to that method, you know. And the fact is, the only reason why we don't want to like we empathize, quote unquote, but the thing is like we also want that sound because it's like ear scratching, like we didn't want it to stop, you know. So that's like, why. But like, that lady needs help. Like she's mental.
Yeah, so that's why and it was explained kind of like, you know, that's why she went to that place. But it also explained why the people around her did react so more hostile towards her, was because it was connecting to our like nurturing side, which I get it, whatever. But honestly, it good for the lady who was filming, because that needed to be on film.
Yes.
I still cannot believe that like that other lady was like working for school. So I you know, at first, like I had to like wonder why I was kind of like feeling bad for the white lady, and it was just literally because I was like, okay, get it, and anxiety, and then like I don't know, I kind of looked at it a little bit more. I'm like, you know, even if for me, if I have never had like an actual like that kind of meltdown, but I know I have gotten a little bit more. You know, I think I told you about the medication stuff last week, where I was just like, you know, like you have like angry moments, but there's moments where you can be like, whoa, wait a minute, like how far do I want to take this, right? And some people don't have that internal check where they're just like, okay, I need to like check myself and see how far I want to go. So that's the Karen story.
But see, that's a big difference between you and her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. It's because I work on myself, and I, you know, I check myself and I check my situational stuff. But like, that whole thing is just yucky. I honestly wish that they, you know, a civil action does happen. Just to be like, you know, you can't pull this kind of garbage and think that's okay.
Seriously.
So let's see. All right. Number two. You want to hear story number 2? This will relate to what was it that was saying? Oh, okay. Let's do the airplane Karen. I don't know if you heard the American Airlines. She's not a Karen, but it's very. It kind of connects to it. So this lady on American Airline was sitting as the plane was taking off. She looked at the guy next to her and she's just like, "You got to make the plane stop flying. You got to make the plane stop taking off." And she started having like a panic attack or something, which I guess the fear of flying is
my God.
real.
I think I know. Was it the one that the cop, like the guards or the cop had to come and talk to her to get off, but she would refuse, and then they had to evacuate everybody else.
No, this is the one that got duct taped to the chair.
No, okay, never mind.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me talk about the other one after this one.
Okay. So we're just talking about meltdowns in public, basically. This is the one that got duct taped to the chair. The plane was taking off, and I think she's realizing that the plane was taking off, and she was just like, "Okay, dude, you gotta make the plane stop." She freaks out, takes off her seatbelt, runs to the front, try to open the door as the plane is taking off. Which, by the way, there's something called differentiation in like air pressure. There's a reason why you don't fire a gun in the plane, because like that little bullet hole would like create like a imbalance in air pressure. Okay, so she's trying to open the plane. People are freaking out. The flight attendant, like someone like tackled her down, put her back in her chair, and she's just wailing, arms throwing around, and they didn't know what to do, so they duct taped her to the chair. And there is a video clip of her being duct taped, and I think people just only saw the duct taped part, and so they're just like, "Oh, this is not okay. This is inhumane." And let me see. How do I think about this? So my brother went to school to learn how to fly planes. Yeah. That is scary, right? So when you lift off, you have to connect with communications. You'd be like, "Hey, yo, is there other planes in my area so that I can fly?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, okay, you can come down." And then you can go up. And then when you're in the air, you have to connect with communications down below and be like, "Hey, are there any planes? Like, is there an area where I can land so that we're not landing together, right?" So maybe they were taking off, but the plane was like inclining, and it has to get to a steady speed before it can go land again. You can't just do one of these. That doesn't, like, gravity doesn't work that way for planes. And so I think they could have, I'm pretty sure they probably just duct taped her to a point where they're like, "Okay, we got to get to a place where we can land, but we need you to stop acting foolish so that we can actually land." And I think her panic attack must have taken her way beyond that.
Wow. I
don't know.
Thought like airplanes. I thought airplanes have like a holding cell or something like that. If not, then I think that they should.
Well, now that we're seeing more and more of this happen, like, well,
they should build one in and be like, go ahead.
I have like a weird juju when it comes to flying, even though I know for a fact that there's more car accidents than planes. So when I go on the plane, I don't know if you ever noticed me doing this. When I go on the plane, I always tap the chair every time like it lands. I don't think you've ever seen me do that. Yeah, when it lands, while it's landing,
I don't think so.
Yeah, while it lands or take off, I always hold my breath and I tap the chairs, because statistically, landing and taking off is more dangerous than being in mid-flight. So I always hold my breath in both, but it ended up just being a habitual thing, right? It gives me like that calming feeling, like it's like an OCD ritual, but I'm not obsessive, right? But it gives me a calming mechanism, right? And people need that. And I think maybe she does have a fear of flying. Maybe this is her first flight. But I think for me, if that has ever happened, I would have been like, "Nope, not even getting on the plane. Screw that. My anxiety is too much." Like, I don't get
it.
I don't know.
Can't she take like Ambien or something like that to like knock herself out? Like, what the F?
Well, no, but that's the thing, is that like some people can take, like, so Dramamine is kind of like the stuff that helps your nausea. So, but it also makes you sleepy. But for me, when I take it, the nausea goes away, but I'm sleepy. But then the sleepiness makes me anxious, so I'm even more anxious, right? So I don't know if that might be the case with her, but I don't know. I would have, like, if I had an idea that flying really, really terrifies me, I don't think I would have gotten on a plane, especially now with COVID. I think it would be even more of a reason for me not getting on a plane, you know?
Well, what I'm saying is that she might not have had a choice to not get, like, obviously if she was that frightened, she probably would not have gotten it on there if there was no like absolutely no choice.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I guess where is she flying? Domestically? Then maybe she could, like, drive, take a bus.
She could if it's, I don't know what her situation is, but it was
Yeah, I guess.
probably, she probably already had weighed all of her options and took this way,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, I
So,
guess. Yeah, but yeah, I think the big argument everyone was saying, most people were saying was just like, well, I understand why American Airline had to restrain her. It's just the way they did it looked inhumane. But I'm like, well, what how else could they do it? With saran wrap, a rope,
yeah.
handcuffs? Like I don't know how other way there first of all, there is
And
no
if those things
humane
are,
way.
if there
I'm
are,
sorry, go ahead.
if they even have those things on the plane, you know what I mean? They probably used what they had, which was duct tape. If
Well,
they had
but then
handcuffs, I'm sure they would have done that too.
well, that's the thing. Is just like there's no way to humanely
Detain
like
someone.
detain someone. Well, I guess when you're talking about like BDSM or whatever, but like,
Okay, well, there's no one on the flight that like has that type of activity. Otherwise, be like, yo, dude, I got handcuffs in my bag
yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. Mr. Joe in
In
the
that
back was
case,
like, I
yeah,
got some
somebody would have been like,
sex ropes.
I got some. I will get. You can, borrow it, but I'm gonna need that back.
You want the whip too? Here's the whip. Here's
Yeah,
the ball.
seriously. I'm sure
Yeah,
if somebody had them readily available, they would have handed it over. So,
yeah, yeah. That's true. Right.
so
Yeah, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah, there's no humane way to detain someone. So I guess that's. I mean,
I Well, it's just
but
one of those where you have to see the whole picture, before
yeah.
before really really jumping to that, which leads me to like, so there was this other woman. um she was African American. She was sitting in this by herself in this row, and she was by the window. And all I remember is the cops saying, "Hey," I was like, he was just asking her if she could get off the plane, like get off the seat and like follow him, and she wouldn't do that. And then like he just kept asking, and she just ignores him, to the point where like he had to ask everybody else to get off the plane. Like they had to evacuate the plane, because no one understood why. And then also I didn't understand why that she didn't want to leave. So from what I remember or heard is that she apparently was talking to someone and she didn't put her phone on airplane mode. And so the flight attendant asked her to put it on airplane mode and blah blah, and she refused, and she was still talking to the person. So it escalated to bringing in the cops in, because they can't take off without putting it on. So then they, at that point, when she refused and she kept refusing, they evacuated the whole plane, and everyone was just like, "Come on, lady," you know what I mean, like yelling to that lady, right? And she still wouldn't do anything. And then finally, she eventually was escorted off the plane, and everybody kept booing her and all that stuff. So from what I heard is that the reason why the cops wanted everyone to be off the plane is that they have to take safety precautions in case things escalate with her. And so they
Yeah.
didn't want to like hurt other patrons on there. So that's why they had to, that was like a procedure to
Yeah.
evacuate. But oh my God, I would have been so pissed like if that was my plane. And then this lady is like delayed for another like hour or 2 hours, whatever. And like other people have connecting flights. Like, oh my gosh.
Wait, why
I would
didn't
have
she want to turn off
livid.
her phone? Like, why was it?
Because
Like,
she was being an ass.
it was literally that. Like, I mean, like, I would have understood if she's just like, oh, my kid is in the hospital and I need to be on call and I'm flying to see them. Like, something like that. I could be a little bit more like
No.
empathetic, but that's literally just her being a jerk.
Yes. There are some people who feel so entitled to like certain things, and she was just one of them.
Wow.
Yeah, the audacity. Yes, the
I mean,
audacity.
Wait, which flight was this though? Because I know Southwest give you like 30 minutes. If you have T-Mobile, you get like an hour of like texting on
Uh,
flight.
yeah, I know. Well, yeah, like texting is free on flight, but no, I don't know which airline. Oh my God. And
Um,
then it leads me to another like Karen who like freaking like I don't know what the hell she was doing, but she was screaming and she was just like, I need to be on this plane, like blah blah, and like to a point where she was just creating such a scene like at the airport. I don't know why people think that that's okay and that it allow like does it does it get results? Like I
it,
don't get it. All you do is gonna get you just will be detained and then being questioned and held and you will lose that flight. So why? Why can't people just shut up and like go through the same things so that you can get from point A to point B safely without any issues?
okay. There's this I read this study a really long time ago about like why people act up at the airport, and it's because it's such a high anxiety
Uh-huh.
environment. Um
Again,
yeah,
take
it is
Percocet, take something to
yeah.
calm your nerves down.
And like even if you don't have like, an actual condition, like an actual diagnosed anxiety or whatever, it's just like a stressful thing. Like for a normal person it'll be like, okay, I gotta get there on time, I gotta check in, I gotta make sure things are in liquid bags, gotta make sure I got my shoes that I packed. Like I get it, I get all of that, right? So it's very high anxiety, and when you put a bunch of people who are all in that like kind of stressful phase or whatever, it can cause one person to flip out. Now you flow multiple times and you're kind of like lackadaisical about it because you've done it so many times. You did the practice run, right? Um, so
Well,
so
see,
that it,
see, that's the thing. Like the last lady who was like flipping out and everything, I got the feeling that she's a frequent flyer. So
dang
it's like
it,
this
that's
is not,
annoying.
the first. That's what I'm saying. Like this is not. And I just get a feeling that she's been flying like this because she was like throwing her like clouds around. I'm gonna, call the police on like whatever. It was just a big ordeal, and everyone, I just don't get it. I don't get why you have to put on such a show because in the end, you're just not going to get there. Like, that's plain and simple.
Let's see. Tiffany says some people bounce off other people's energies, and I mean that's true. That's why mob mentality is a thing. Um,
Mm.
and because you just bounce off the energy of other people, and yeah. But okay, so her being like a frequent flyer, now it goes to the concept of her being like, oh, I've flown so much, I'm entitled now, blah
Entitled.
blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that happening too. Um,
Yep.
that's that is wild. Like seriously, just your phone could be off for just a couple of minutes,
Oh,
and then just I don't know.
yeah.
Like
Like, if you want to talk on the phone all day long, then drive to the destination. Don't fly,
you know what you
you
can do?
know?
You and the duct tape lady can get in the car together.
That's right.
Just drive to
That's
wherever you
right.
need to go.
Caravan
Y'all,
together, do what you need to
Caro,
do, and be like bitches together. Like, just don't bother other people, please.
Mel Karen van together.
Caravan. Oh my gosh, I think that's a
Karen vans.
thing. We're gonna have to we're gonna have to like trademark that ish.
Karen van together.
That's perfect.
Seriously.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh, I would be so
Should we
I
talk?
can't.
Should
All
we
right,
talk about Brittany?
Brittany. Okay, do you want to take on the story?
The latest development, thank the Lord, is that she was able to have and like choose her own attorney
Good.
and that attorney apparently is very effective because he had asked her father to what is it, to end the conservatorship or otherwise like he would have to take matters into his own hands. But I believe from the lawyer's work, Brittany is still very pissed, and She wants her dad to end the conservatorship. She wants the conservatorship to end, and she wants to file for her dad, or charge her dad with conservatorship abuse, which I highly agree. And apparently, she got hold of her social media accounts now, so she has full
Yes.
control
Yeah.
And she also was able to drive again after what,
Good.
20 years. So yeah, KL has sent me her screenshots of Brittany's, going off with her family and her sister with, I'm sure with very like it was just due, she felt like she
Mhm.
was silenced for so long. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
she got her
I
platform back.
it was like multiple posts I saw, and I was just like,
Yeah.
she didn't go off. She like popped off. Like it was a soda can that has been shooken up for so long and just so do you know the thing
Yes,
about her sister,
running.
Jamie Lynn Spears?
Yeah, so like so from what I heard is that so Brittany like said she's quit, like she quit. So she's not performing until her dad's off of her like not controlling her stuff. And then no, she felt as if none of her, like her mom or her sister, was there to help her when she was under this conservatorship. And also the fact that how dare Jamie Lynn like um what is it, uses her songs to remix or something like that on stage. And
Yeah.
I think that's very not cool.
Well, okay, so Jamie Lynn Spears was in Zoe 101, and
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you saw the show. It was like a Nickelodeon kid show, and I used to
Never.
watch it all the time. And then her scandal came out
Yeah.
was she was like 16 or 17 and she was pregnant. And it was
Oh shoot.
yeah, it was a whole thing because people were like, oh, she's only 17, she's pregnant, she's a bad, blah, blah. I mean, the media really like, attacked her. It felt like they were more like, oh, why did she get pregnant at 17? It's such a bad, um, she's a bad role model and all that, instead of going for like the guy who got her pregnant and stuff. So like the media definitely tore her
Hmm.
apart too. However, I think she was always in the good graces of like Jamie, the father, the names are getting confusing here, the father's hand.
Yeah.
And so under the conservatorship, some of Britney's money was also paying for Jamie Lynn, the sister. And that's the reason why she never really like spoke out or something, because she was a part of the
Yeah.
taking. But I guess Jamie Lynn like wrote a book. And it was about her life and her pregnancy and I think like that, but like she titled it "Oops, I Did It Again" or something, like one of the lyrics that was
Not cool.
yeah. And then she finally changed it because I think Britney got really upset about it. And but then she
Yeah.
went on tour and started performing some of Britney's song, which is like really messed up. But no,
So messed up.
this is it's a small step, but at least it's going somewhere, you know?
Yeah, I'm really
Um,
happy. And this lawyers are very, like, apparently very competent. He has like other like high power, clients of his that he's worked with. So I have very good faith that he would help Brittany end this conservatorship because it's due time.
yeah. We also want to, yeah. Now that she's in is able to drive and all that, I think a little thing that I'm a bit worried about is her driving, and now the paparazzi are gonna like glom onto like wherever she's going,
Yeah.
and then they'll try to like capture her in a bad light again, and then it like reverses everything that happened.
Right.
You know?
And I do hope that she realizes that and to be on her best behavior until this thing ends.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think she will react poorly, but it could just be anything. Like she could do anything tiny and small, and they'll try to like twist it, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
So that's like something that I hope is not going to happen. And I hope the paparazzis have
Me
learned. I
too.
mean, I mean, even she said in the her Instagram post, she was just like, it's funny how people are now like jumping on this and making documentaries about it when they didn't care before, which I think.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned this like last time too when I was saying how like Britney was like uncomfortable with documentaries about her. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah. Well, we will see how this goes, and I'm glad that like she's getting. I hope I hope she gets to have children. I hope she gets to see the kids that she have now, and the only reason why she was in it is because she wants to in this conservatorship because she wanted to be closer to her kids.
I know. Well,
So
I think that they probably had it. They probably had it twisted around and everything, and I felt like it was more a manipulation tactic. I think that
yeah.
unfortunately, so from what I hear, Lindsay Lohan was also, um, she was like almost tricked into like having a conservatorship, which she didn't go she didn't have it for some reason, and I believe who else was it?
Amanda
I forgot
Bynes.
someone else who was also. Oh, okay. See, like they weren't, ever got into it. So I think with Brittany, she just trusted the wrong people.
Yeah.
She thought
Well,
that they had her best interest in hand, but they didn't.
no, the lady who got Brittany into the conservatorship is the same lady who's trying to get Lindsay Lohan into the conservatorship. She's like a management or something.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh my
and I think
gosh.
yeah, and I think she's also like really good friends with Amanda Bynes' old manager.
What is
So
wrong with these people?
I don't know. I could not tell you. Probably like power hungry or something. I don't know.
Jesus, it's not their money, Like what the F?
Yeah, mostly power hungry or just a weird. I don't know, but
Yeah.
good for Brittany. What is our next story? Oh, cryptocurrency. Have you heard about all the scams that's been going on with that?
No, I haven't heard of any of the scams, but I mean, I feel like cryptocurrency is kind of a scam in itself. So,
Yeah. I mean, a Bitcoin, obviously, whatever, it's been there for a while, so it's kind of proven
yeah.
itself. But like all these other new ones that are like popping off. So, a bunch of YouTubers have decided to promote a type and I don't know all the names of them, the YouTubers and all the names of the currencies because there's so many key players in this. But apparently,
Uh-huh.
how they're doing this is they're going on Twitter and they're saying, "You guys buy this coin, it's going to be the next big thing. You're going to invest now. It's very low, and then in a couple of months or years, it's going to like really blow up." And that's what they're doing, right? Um, I think
Not
legally,
cool.
yeah,
Not
legally, there's a
cool.
problem with this.
Yeah.
So they're doing that, right? And then all of a sudden in a couple of months, like, you see the YouTubers like selling all their coins, and
Oh my
then it's
God.
just like, but they're still pushing the coins, and then like it's found out that like they were sponsored by these crypto coins to push the coins, which I think it's one thing to have like a sponsorship deal where it's just like, hey, talk about this Maybelline makeup or whatever. But I think it's different to be like, hey, why don't you put all of your money into this like financial investment, and and it might actually like do really well. Like I think there's a fine line there, right? Like
Yep. Yep.
and okay, so the one main story that's been happening was like, oh God, I hate Rice Gum. Do you know who he is?
No.
Rice Gum, he and Gabby Hanna kind of had a situation in 2017, but like he really annoys me. He reminds me of some of those kids in high school that, anyways, that's just my personal opinion of him.
Mm-hmm.
So he and these other guys were pushing this particular coin called Save the Kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so you buy the coin, and I guess what happened, how this is like a very me trying to like layman water it down as simple as how I can understand it. And maybe this is not like coming out clearly, but how it works is these guys promote the coins. Turns out
Mm-hmm.
they're claiming that they didn't get any money for promoting this coin. But
Mm-hmm.
it turns out that the coin that they have that they invested was given to them. So technically they weren't giving money, they just had the coin or whatever. And so, they're telling everyone to buy it low, which is like a couple of cents or whatever. But then because they ended up selling all their coins and abandoning it, the coins end up losing even more value.
Oh my
So you're going
gosh.
from like 1 penny to like 0.0001 penny, right? And the key players who pushed these coins pretty much were like, I guess in like Wall Street term would be considered shareholders at that point because you have so much invested in it. And if you're the one that's selling or buying it, you can actually shift the market, right? And so that's
Mm-hmm.
what happened. And then so the people who have already bought it were like, wait a minute, all of this like kind of dipped out and dipped down. And I'm just thinking, that can't be legal, because if you did that on like a regular stock market where you buy a bunch of stuff and you tell people, oh, this is going to go up, and then all of a sudden when people finally buy it and you sell it, that's insider trading, right? Like,
that's what I was gonna say. It sounds very like sketch,
right?
and so sketch. I don't think that tactic is supposed to like. Don't when people think about it, it's like did you do the research behind this coin? Like, did you know like if it's a valid one, like there will be more information about it.
It's legitimately insider trading now that I'm thinking about it. And
This
the
is
name
not
is
cool.
okay. So now I'm thinking like, okay, I've been hearing, like, reading a couple of articles about how there are some lawyers who are like getting onto this, and like the government is not happy about this kind of stuff when it comes to trading things like that. So let's say they do crack down on this kind of stuff. Like, these YouTubers and influencers who, probably just promoted it for the sake of promoting something, dude, they might get made an example of, and you can go to jail for like 6 to 15 years,
Oh yeah. Yep.
Which sometimes blows my mind, because like you can stab someone and they not die and just go to jail for like 15 years, but yet you do this kind of stuff and you go to jail for like 15 years, which is still like insane to me.
But see, the thing is like, why is it? I mean, I just feel, Big Brother is always watching, right? So why is it that the government haven't intervened at this point and stopped
Oh,
this?
you know what? I'm pretty sure they are watching and they're not intervening, because I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
they want to see more happen, right?
So they're trying to gather more data.
Yeah, more data, and probably more like proof or something, to be like, oh, we really got you,
I see.
So that could probably be the case. Yeah, I just
Okay.
so if you start seeing like YouTubers going to jail for like that kind of stuff, it would
So
be
dumb.
interesting.
So dumb.
I mean, I get, if you're gonna invest, fine, sure, like, get an ally account, which is like really great. I like them.
Invest smartly.
You can always do a simple Roth. You can do like a simple 401k. Stick to the traditional stuff. I get Bitcoin. Like, I get the was it the shininess of it
I'm not.
all.
Yeah, but even then, you should still approach it with caution, because
Yeah.
it's very like still to me it's very new. Like I've never jumped onto the trend,
Hmm.
and I know that I've I've asked of how like it really works, and it's like it's backed by the people, that sort of thing. But even
Yep.
then, people are not always trustworthy, so
That's the problem. Yep.
I'm not gonna go and like try to get is still they're still not companies, so no
Yeah.
thanks. I will just invest in my Starbucks,
Yeah.
invest
Exactly.
in
I'm just.
my
Well,
yeah,
I know. So Papa does have some Bitcoin, but like a very low amount, but just enough to be like, cool. I got
yeah,
Bitcoins, right? And then
right,
but other than that, it's just like, but Bitcoin has been around so much longer than all these new ones that are popping up. But I
yeah,
just still, I'm gonna just do it the traditional way, just kind of a nice little
same,
retirement plan, a nice little college fund
yeah.
plan, you know,
Like I'm
a
not trying to go
home.
crazy. Like I'm right. Like I'm not trying to go crazy. I would like hold 20 shares maybe per stock, but like I just don't find it like I don't know. When I tell my family, it's like, oh yeah, I only invested, a couple thousand in this and this, and they're like, a couple thousand. I did like 10,000. I'm like, okay, dude. Well, I don't want to like, go crazy. You know what I mean? Like you do you, and I'll do mine, and I'll keep my little portfolio with like eggs in every every little area, not in the whole basket. So whatever.
Yeah. Cool flex, bro. Like, that's literally what I'm thinking
Yeah,
when I hear
serious.
people go like, cool flex.
Seriously.
It's like, okay,
It's like, oh,
so
I rather take risk, and I was like, okay, well, I'm not a risk taker, so
yeah,
I
yeah,
just buy what I like, and hopefully it'll be stable enough to continue to grow.
yeah. I'm like, okay, it's just and again, here's this thing: this lifestyle of like taking risk and living big. You also like fall really, really hard too. Like,
yep.
No one
Or
ever
the whole
paints that
AMC,
side.
the whole AMC thing too. It's like, I know like my a few like people that I know have invested a lot into it, and they're like holding it on, and to wait until it gets to like triple digits, which is what GameStop did. But
Yeah.
I don't know, like you also have to read the company's, history and like the future stuff to see if it is gonna go anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the only
Because I
reason
don't
why
think there was anything. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just saying the only reason why GameStop happened was because like the whole Reddit thing, people on Reddit were just like, let's do this together.
Yeah.
And it worked, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but once
the thing is, like GameStop has some kind of like during the pandemic, right? Everybody, but even before the pandemic, people were still playing games, video games, and all of that stuff. Like GameStop is still a pretty good company, and during the pandemic, I'm sure it increased more with like game sales because of like everyone's at home, And like even after, I'm sure it will still be okay. But with AMC, see, no one was watching movies during the pandemic. Yes, they were streaming some, but it's not to the same amount of how much they're gonna be. Even like the CEO says not to invest in AMC. Like if he says that, you kind of have to like be listening, And like even after the pandemic, I don't think that there'll be a lot of people going to the theaters as much. It's just like the streaming of it is the more popular one.
Well, this kind of reminds me of when Elon Musk tweeted out, Bitcoin sucks.
Yes. And it went down.
And everyone was just like,
it
sell
tanked.
now, sell now. Just like, how? Okay, first of all,
my gosh,
that has to be like in the
People
form
have
that
such
feels
a panic mentality on this. Yeah.
But it feels kind of like illegal because Elon Musk has a lot in Bitcoin. And for him to be able to shift the market like that, there has to be regulations, right? Like with what you can tweet about
There's
investment
gotta be.
online. But there isn't because it's still new.
Yeah.
So, but it cracked me up. Like I was just like seeing it dip and like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Oh man, Elon Musk is a loose cannon.
Yeah. He is. And even though he is a loose cannon, I still believe in the product. A few shares in it, and it's grown quite a bit. But to me, I think it's wise to hold on to it only because I feel like the future is, electric. And so that's I feel like, that's probably where it's gonna go. I mean, dude, I just saw on TikTok it was TikTok or Facebook or whatever. I saw my first flying car. Whoever would have thought that was gonna be the case, but my God, it's out there now. We're gonna be in a Jetson.
Well, here's the thing: is that like Elon Musk is not Tesla, right? Like he's the face of, but he's not Tesla, and so I think there's a huge difference that people have to make that distinguishment now, because like Elon Musk is just Elon Musk to me now at this point, and Tesla is Tesla, right? So, and then I don't think the Bitcoin thing had anything to do with Tesla stocks. I don't think it had everything to do with like the Bitcoin stuff. But it's funny because my dad just finally like discovered Elon Musk, and I was just like, he's been around for a while, Dad. But like, I think it's finally getting into Vietnamese boomer news pages.
Yeah. They're talking about it.
Yeah, but he calls them Eon Musk, ION. Because I think it's funny, and I don't have the heart to break it to him, like, Dad, like this has been going on for a while, so I just let him feed it to me like this is new information, and I had no idea, because that's what parents want. They want to feel needed, right? But he just discovered it, and he's just like, this guy is like kind of crazy with his money, and I'm like, okay, let's all right, Dad, and let's get off this Elon Musk binge for a little bit. But he's all into him right now, so it's just funny to me. Yeah. But no, I agree. Electric cars are going to be our future. I am very looking forward to like a self-driving electric car that is more affordable than the Tesla, by the way. So I'm holding on to my Honda for a while until that car comes out, because I think Google,
totally. Mm-hmm.
Isn't Google like they're still in another trial of their self-driving cars, and I think that they're planning to sell them for like 25-30K, which is way more affordable.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
way more affordable.
You know that Tesla has the affordable version, which is 35K.
Yeah, but if you want to have the self-driving thing in it, you have to add like another 15K to it. And then when you take it off, and then when you take it off the lot, you have to wrap it, which is another 10K.
Oh, that's
and
right.
if you want the charger in your garage, it's another 5 to 10K. Otherwise, it's going to take 24 hours to charge that car. Yeah.
No, they're having. I've seen actually like the most obscure locations, and also rest stops that they have been building Tesla superchargers.
Yep.
More so, and I think that's the trend, is to be able to build a lot of the supercharged station that's equivalent to how many cars that they want to sell, for the future. So it's gonna happen. But yeah, I get the whole upsell thing, which is kind of ridiculous. But imagine all of that upsell on a even higher.
Higher
car.
That's
but
true.
Yeah, out the door price, I would definitely want to have like less than 30.
Yeah, but here's the thing, like around me, there's superchargers everywhere, and not superchargers, but chargers, electric car chargers around me everywhere. Like literally, I can walk down every like 2 or 3 blocks, and there's one. So Houston's getting there, even though we are like such an oil and gas city. We're still very into renewable energy as well. So, but you know what?
Those resources are just not going to be around that much longer. Just the way we're consuming.
Yeah, and here's the funny thing is that electric cars is not a new thing. Like it actually came out the same time the T series from the first Ford car that was ever invented. It came out around the same time. It's just that at that time it was cheaper. It was cheaper to go with oil because there was the infrastructure for oil, and they really wanted to push the car out. But you know what? Once we start building the infrastructure for electric cars, it's gonna just start flying off the shelves, and I won't doubt it at all. And I won't doubt that Grudy is gonna be driving an electric car with all of her friends.
Oh yeah, like my next car for sure would be electric.
Yeah. Mine. I'm hanging on for dear life for my sad little Honda with Cheerios all over on the floor. Which, by the way, I did vacuum this week.
Good job. Good job.
I know.
Hey, I wasn't judging. It's mom's life,
Oh no, I was totally judging myself. I was just like, oh God. Yeah. I was totally judging myself because
your car is comparatively cleaner than someone I know who is like, oh my God, I can't even fathom how this person keep her car so messy.
Really?
I just couldn't.
Wait.
Yeah, it was so bad that I could smell like cat.
Okay, I know who you're talking about. I know who you're.
No, you don't.
I don't know.
This is someone that. No, you don't know this person. This is someone. This is someone. Not. Yeah, and I was shocked. I was shocked.
Really? So, yeah, but that's extreme though, right? That has to be extreme, right? I don't know. I was totally judging. I was just like, oh gosh, these Cheerios. I'm so glad that Rudy doesn't eat it off of the floor though. But I was I was really proud.
Even if she does, it builds her immune system. So
that is also very true. Had she eaten those car floor Cheerios, she wouldn't be sick right now.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I feel like my immune system is rock solid because my parents don't care. My parents didn't care that we were eating off of the ground. I'm just kidding.
Good to know that Mel eats floor-ridden Cheerios.
No, but it's one of those. It's one of those the 3-second rule.
That is also very true. I would, I think there's a science to that.
Yeah.
That
I'd
and what
watch it. But but yeah,
I think that's the first thing
it's
I
funny.
learned in middle school. It was the 5-second rule or the 3-second rule,
Oh, it's five
and the
sec.
the
Okay.
5-finger discount. Those are the two things I've learned, and not the best two things you should be learning as a kid. But
I was gonna say you've got great role models there.
I know the 5-finger discount. Um, but
Yeah.
those are our 4 stories. I really do like the rapid fire stuff because I think it's fun because we can get through
Yeah, it was
more
actually very
stories.
nice. I know we could talk about more things and like, and just get some opinions out there. So it's nice.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
sorry, the last one was definitely very rushed. I thought I would have at least 45 minutes talking, but then my family just start piling into the van with
Uh, no, it's
no like
okay.
boundaries.
Yeah, no, I
So
mean, we
yeah,
still
and
got
I
30
was like,
minutes. It was still pretty good.
yeah, and I was like telling my sister, I was like, that I was live, right? Because then you were like in the back. She was like in the background. She's like, oh, really?
Yeah,
Hey,
that's okay.
that's what family is. They just go
Yeah,
and do what they want.
yeah, but I'm glad you got to see your little nephew, and
Yeah.
it's nice that she's here now. So this time when you like come to visit Texas, you have like 2 reasons to go and visit.
No, totally.
So
Totally. And we totally stopped by Bucky's. So I got some souvenirs from it. Have you ever had those nuggets? The Bucky's nuggets? Those like
the
little
beaver
crackers?
nuggets,
Or
yeah.
yeah, have you had those? Is it good?
Oh, yeah, it's like a staple here.
Okay, yeah, no, I got one of those back and then also a plush toy. Oh my God, that was
Yeah.
so cute. So
Oh,
yeah.
the plush toy. Yeah, we got so Grudy has a Bucky swimsuit, which is like really cute.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
and it's cute because like to her, like Bucky's to her is kind of like my equivalent of Mickey Mouse now. Yeah, it's so
Oh,
cute.
okay.
Oh, by the way, I think I heard that
Wait,
they're building a couple of Bucky's in the east side now.
really?
They're
Really?
expanding. Yeah, yeah. So they might be coming over
What?
to your end. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I
Yeah.
was gonna say it's not the equivalent of the honey badger to you.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's
You
the
and
equivalent of
honey
my
badger.
adult
Honey
honey
badgers
badger.
don't
Honey
stop.
badgers don't care. Let them eat the snakes.
Yeah, honey
Oh
badgers
God, I
don't
miss
care.
that.
Because like that one time that you kept saying like, why do you keep saying honey badgers? You've never seen that YouTube video, and then you
Yeah.
showed it to me. I'm like, oh my God, I want to be a honey badger so bad.
They're so
It
bad.
survives everything. It gets knocked onto the ground. Honey badgers don't care. Honey badgers survive. Oh my gosh, so funny.
All right, guys, that is our episode for this week. Hopefully, we will source more
Yes.
awesome, funny little episodes to talk about that's not so dark. Because I'm getting tired of the dark stuff.
I
Like
know
we got out of COVID. Let's lighten this stuff up a little bit.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But still, mask
Yeah.
up, vaccinate, please. I'm getting so tired of people not like vaccinating for like. There
Please.
are legitimate reasons to not vaccinate, but there are a lot of I'm not going to go on that rant. But vaccinate, wear a mask.
Yeah. Well, what I was gonna say is that the people who don't vaccinate just tells me that they're very selfish because vaccination is not just for you; it is for the people that are around, like who are around you.
Yeah.
So please, if not for yourself, definitely for the people. So stop being so selfish.
Unless you're like severely immunocompromised and cannot vaccinate, then okay, sure. But I need a doctor's note.
I need proof.
Yeah, exactly.
Your word is just never enough.
Yeah, exactly. I need proof.
All right,
I need your
guys.
social
Yeah.
security number and all that. All right. Okay. Have a good weekend. We'll send you off with some happiness. And we'll see you
Happy
next
thoughts.
week. Bye.
Bye-bye.